Okay, so welcome back to Gamechanger. So before we get started on this voiceover tutorial, I want to tell you a funny story about this haircut and this client. She's from Maryland. I'm in Texas, so we're far apart. Usually, when someone flies in to get a haircut by me, they'll put in the notes, "Hey, I'm coming from such and such state. I'm excited to get this transformation done by you." So that way I know, and I'll be very prompt on the approval for their haircut. But she didn't say anything. Another thing about me, I'm super last minute sometimes, confirming appointments. I know I'm working on my professionalism, but usually I'll confirm the day before. So when I'm mind you, I'm not doing this. So I confirmed her like super last minute. She didn't say anything, whole haircut. I didn't know where she came from. I thought she from down the street. So I'm cut. We didn't really talk as much. I'm cutting her. Oh, I love my haircut towards the end. And then she says to me, "Oh, by the way, I came from Maryland. I fly out in a couple of hours." I said, "What you doing in Texas?" She's like, "I just flew in to get a cut by you." Now, sometimes people do that, but then sometimes people will fly in, see family, and while they're here, they'll see me. She strictly flew in that morning, got the cut, flew out that night. And then it made my heart drop because sometimes I cancel depending on what my kids have going on. I'm like, "Yo, you didn't say anything to me. You never got worried leading up." She's like, "No, I had the flight booked like a month in advance. I knew you was gonna come out here." So shout out to her. She's amazing. She was so sweet, nice. But I just kept thinking, damn, if I wouldn't have, and the whole cut, she didn't say anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just want to say that. Another thing, she has some of the most beautiful locks I've ever seen in my life. Super maintained. I mean, just long, luscious black locks. Love it. So yeah, that was dope too. So now, few things I want to point out in this tutorial. So her hair is very thick, but her edges are very thin. Now she's getting a high taper. That can create a humongous problem because when you have a very thick, dense, luscious head full of hair, and then those edges are thin and you want to taper, especially when it goes from thick to thin on that taper line, which it just so happened that's exactly what her locks did. So I'll walk you kind of through how I overcame that. But yeah, so yeah, I took the locks off. You know, if you ever watch my videos, the way I cut the locks off is I'll untwist the lock and where it locked at last, and I'll cut it right below that lock. So that way people can keep them as keepsakes, or if they ever want to get it retwisted. So that's kind of what I did with her locks. I think she had been growing up for like 15, 20 years, just a super uber long time. And that's always not pressure, because I'm kind of built for pressure, right? Not to be too braggadocious, but I am. Whenever someone has that emotional attachment, you really want to, I personally really want to take care of the situation. I want to take care of their hair, make sure they're comfortable. We kind of do talk about the emotional side. Are you okay? You sure you want to do this? Because to be honest, it's never too late to turn around. So yeah. Right now I'm washing. The biggest thing for me is I want to get all that buildup out. She has a very clean scalp, but she had a lot of buildup because, like I said, she kept her locks very well maintained. So there was product at the root or the base of that lock. So when I wash that out, I want to be very careful because I don't know the condition of her scalp. I don't know if she has psoriasis or if she has eczema. So, I just kind of want to scratch through, look at it, and see what I'm kind of working with, because that kind of dictates how I move forward. All right, so after I wash, which I don't know how long I'm about to wash, and we get to it. Now, the best way, so usually I do a two-line method where primary line, secondary line, primary section, secondary section. That's like 98% of my videos, I talk about that. So when I come into a client whose hair goes from thick to thin, I don't really want to do those two-line methods. I change it up. Why? Because I don't run into my intersecting points from that primary to secondary line being right where they're thin. So if you look at her edges right now, her hair is very thick, but her edges are very thin, very, very thin. If you look around the arch or the temple. Now, I cut her down to a 5 because she still wants to keep her fro nice and neat. So before we get to the technical parts of it, the mental part of a haircut, and a haircut like this, when you run into thin spots, density issues, calmness. You have to remain calm, confident, and rely on your skills, rely on the reps, rely on your experience, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. I cut a guy today, and he was like, "Man, the last few barbers that cut my edge up just made it seem like it was so impossible, but you did it really good. I've been doing it for a while. Like, it's not often that you will come in with something that I've never seen. So you have to remain poised at all times. So see, now what I'm doing is debulking. I want to see, where does it go from thin to thick? And this is why I'm starting with the 2 instead of my 2-line method. I kind of want to observe and study. This is my consultation with myself and her scalp, okay? And you see right there, boom. You see, as I debulked, I found it. It's like, oh shit. So then I'm thinking, oh wow, no 2-line method today, because it's literally on where the secondary line would start. So what I do is I do my primary line still, because that separates the skin from the hair. And now I'm just debulking with the 2, and I'll work my way down. And I'm very, very careful along that area. And the way that I blend the area of light to dark is I kind of hit more towards, I actually attack it. I attack that thin section. So after I debulk, you see right now, I'm just lightly going, no hard line. I'm just working out. I'm basically clearing out space, so that way I can take away that primary line. No hard line like I would usually do. And I'm just taking my time and working. A lot of my strokes, instead of being longer, they're like shorter strokes, not choppy, just short. I want to attack and pull the clipper out, more like a C motion, up and out, up and out. And if you can see, look at my left hand, which is my off hand, the hand with no clippers. I'm actually pulling the skin down with my thumb to tighten that skin, so that way, as I'm, about to drop the mic. So that way, as I'm fading, the skin doesn't pull back, and this, and I take her out, and I take off the right amount of hair. Now I come back with my 1.5, and now I'm just attacking the area. Light work, super, super light work. Take my time. If you can see, it's actually starting to blend together really, really smooth now. I'm just more focused on, okay, make sure you leave no indication that she's standing on the edges. No matter what you come in with, my job is to make sure you leave out super confident and as fresh and as crisp as possible. No one cares about the excuses. Example, if she was out, no one will say, oh, the barber did the best job they can, even though you have thin spots. No one will know. So it's my job to make sure that that excuse isn't even possible. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm just trying to give you money's worth for free. All right. I do want to take a second to a shout out. I got a shave gel coming out. Actually, pre-orders are now. So if you want to go to GameChangerCosmetics.com, super great gel. But it's also designed to be a super simple compound mixture. It's just thicker than most gels. So that way, when you're using the razor, it doesn't pull or get snagged on the hair. Also, we added aloe to keep the skin moisturized pre and post shave. And obviously, it's transparent. I love to see the workspaces I'm working. When we went to go to the cosmetic lab to design the gel, I wasn't big on adding a lot of this and a lot of that. Super simple. I think it's just formulated to perfection. I've used very thick gels where it's like, damn, it dries on the scalp. It kind of gets in the way, it gets gooey. I use super water-based gels that it makes the hair pull. It snags on the hair from the razor. This is just, I promise you, it's formulated perfectly. So shout out to that. Y'all go check it out. I wouldn't put my name on anything I didn't believe in. So back to the tutorial. Same thing with the back. I kind of did the 2-line method in the back, but I didn't do it as hard. A lot of flicking out. Also, right under her occipital bone, she kind of has a cliff. So I want to be careful of that. Sometimes when clients have like meaty heads, or they have that cliff right under that bone right there above the nape, it can leave another natural line. So right now I'm doing like this tiger claw method to kind of pull their hair down, thin it out. You know, my biggest, I say it all the time, the lighter the area, the easier the fade. And that rings true. Never fail me. Never, ever fail me. Look, I know in this voiceover, it's going to be a lot of stumble, a lot of talking. I'm freestyling. I'm giving you fresh, raw, off the mind. I'm watching it with you. Haven't seen this video in a while. So just appreciate the natural thought that goes into it. All right, so now, again, what I'm doing now is I'm notch hitting. So I'm using the corner of the clipper. I'm very lightly. It's like a feathering technique. I'm very lightly going over the hair. So that way I can fade, but I take off a little bit of hair at a time. Again, I'm being very mindful of the thin areas, right? right around the nape of her neck and on her temple, right? So yeah, after I hit that same technique, I'll come back and edge. So you all watch, and I'll see in a little bit. Oh, in case you actually come, why do you go upside down with the clippers to the tiger claw? It's just, it gets the blade closer to the skin, but it also keeps the guard on it. So it's like a raking technique. It's like having a motorized comb to debulk with. Oh, we here. This is back when I was using the black slum lines. Dang. All right. So yeah, keep it super natural. Yeah, that's always my thing. It's tricky when you edge the back of the head, right? Because you do want to kind of give it that V line in, but you also don't want to go too tight because you don't want the grow back to be on a pushback. You don't want it to look crazy on the new growth. So I'm right there, boom. Very important key that you just saw me hit. When that hair hangs over, you can do a very sharp edge up, but if you don't get the hair that hangs over the edge up, from certain angles, it won't look sharp. So those are little bitty tidbits. Look at that. To me, it's looking like it's coming together really, really well. I blended in that access under her occipital bone, give it a nice smooth transition, even on the corners. Now, Tiger, I'm talking as the video go. I know I'm talking fast, just kind of rewind. I'm just freestyle shit, a Lil Wayne. Pulling it. Now, after I tiger claw to lay the hair down along the edge up, nice and simple. Look at that. It's coming together super de-duper smooth. All right. Anything I gotta say? I'm pulling the skin down. So why are you not using a razor when you usually use a razor? Good question. If you ask that question. Sometimes with froze, especially with clients that have hair that kind of is real bushy on the edges or even really thin on the edges, I'll just use the clippers to set that template. It helps me get the hairs just hanging over. Excuse me. It helps me get the hairs just hanging over. It helps me create that guy. And honestly, her hair takes a really good trimmer. I think it's super sharp, if you ask me. Then I come back with the razor. I'm just having fun with this one, y'all. And it's looking great. So, y'all, thank y'all for sticking around. I know I talked a lot. I hope you got your money's worth because you didn't pay for shit. But I gave you some game that was worth $1 million. So go buy some shave gel for $16 and we'll call it even. And then we're going to shape it up. Y'all stick around for her reaction. Man, she was so cool. She was like super, super, super cool. I believe she loved it. Y'all watch her reaction, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm going to actually drop a video in the morning time, and I might drop one at night. See y'all soon. Gamechanger out. We locked in. Ready to see it?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like it? Whatever you like it, it's in the bar, right?
Yeah.
Ready to curl it up? Get home, curl it up?
Yeah.
Make it look good? Is that how you want it to look?
Yeah.
It's good?
Yeah.
It's a little shock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you like, yeah, definitely. I'm happy you like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely, you're welcome.